Rebecca Lee Crumpler, first African-American female physician. Rebecca Lee Crumpler graduated from medical school during a time when it was extremely uncommon for an African-American to attend a medical college. When Crumpler completed medical school, there were over 54,500 physicians in the United States. Approximately 300 of them were women and none of them were African American. Crumpler was the first. After graduation, she began to practice medicine in Boston, treating poor women and their children. In 1865, when the Civil War was over, Crumpler relocated to Richmond, Virginia. She then started working for the Freedmen's Bureau. Crumpler provided freed slaves with medical care. During this time, she was subject to extreme sexism and racism as she tried to practice medicine. Crumpler eventually moved back to Boston to resume providing medical care for women and children. Early life. Rebecca Lee Crumpler, née Davis, was born in Christiana, Delaware in 1831. Her mother's name was Matilda Weber and her father's name was Absalom Davis. She spent her time growing up in Pennsylvania. Crumpler lived with an aunt who was known for caring for neighbors who were sick. Her aunt was thought of as a doctor in her community. This experience had a huge influence on Crumpler. In 1852, she moved to Charlestown, Massachusetts. Medical school. Crumpler spent her time working as a nurse from 1855 to 1864. In 1860, the New England Female Medical College accepted her as a student. Her schooling was paid for by a tuition award. It was provided by the Wade Scholarship Fund. This fund was established by a man named Benjamin Wade who was a devout abolitionist. It was extremely rare for a black woman to be admitted to a medical school. The Civil War resulted in the creation of huge demands for medical care. This provided opportunities for women to be trained as a physician. Crumpler had demonstrated that she had talent when it came to providing medical care. This was recognized by a physician who supervised Crumpler when she was a medical apprentice. He gave her a strong recommendation to the medical school. Medical career. After completing medical school, Crumpler started practicing medicine in Boston. During this time, she focused her practice on treating poor African American women and children. When the Civil War was over, she relocated to Richmond, Virginia. Her goal was to gain experience in dealing with diseases that were infecting women and children. She enjoyed her work because of the sphere of labor. In 1866, she was given access to many indigents and other types of people in a population of more than 30,000 African Americans. Crumpler resided in a predominantly African American community in Boston. She would treat women and children without worrying about their ability to pay. Death. On March 9, 1885, Dr. Rebecca Davis Lee Crumpler died. She was 64 at the time. Crumpler passed away at her home in the Hyde Park section of Boston. She was then buried at Fairview Cemetery. It is agreed that Crumpler left a legacy of inspiration to anyone who faces adversity. Her passion to heal afflictions of all those who needed her is considered her gift to humanity.